Hey there, fourth graders. Mrs. Smith here. Welcome back. Today we are doing Unit 2, Lesson 14, which is on page 77 of your books. And I'm not sure why my ink for my book was like a little bit light, so don't worry though, it picks back up later. Today we're talking about using estimation for our double-digit multiplication problems. And we'll do a little bit of a puzzle penguin and look at a couple word problems using estimation as well. So remember, estimation is a good way to get a quick answer that's pretty close to what you are trying to do. But it is, if you need a specific exact number, it's always good to do the actual math. But it's also a good way to sort of check your work to see if you like have an extra zero somewhere and throw off the whole place value. Okay. Let's go ahead and get started. It says two-digit products can be estimated by rounding each number to the nearest 10. Estimate and then solve. So I'm going to, you guys can barely see my numbers, but they're there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to start by estimating like it says. So 28 to the nearest 10 is 30. And 74 to the nearest 10 is 70. Remember, 5 or more, let it soar. 4 or less, let it rest, right? So then I'm going to move those 10s out to the side, multiply those together, that's 100. And then the 7 and the 3 together is 21 when you multiply them, so it's 2100. So we should get something close, my marker's dying, to 2100 when we do the actual math. Let us see if we do. 2100. And that portion, because it's so quick, you can really do that stuff in your head once you get into the habit of it. So let's do, I'll use my whiteboard for this. I like that area model. Just a quick version of it. So we have 28 and 74. 20 times 70 is 1400. 70 times 8, 560 or 56 tens. 8 times 4, 32, and 4 times 20 is 80. So then we add those up. 60 plus 80 plus 32, 2, 14, 17. So 2072, is that pretty close to 2100? Yeah, it's only like 30-ish off, right? So that's pretty close. Good job, everybody. So we'll write over here 28 times 74 equals 2072. Just because there's not a ton of space under here. All right, let's do 84. What's that to the nearest 10? That 4 in the ones place says it's 80. And that 27 is going to go to what? 30. So then 8 times 3 is 24. So we got 2400. Then let's do the expanded form version of this. So we'll do 80 plus 4 times 20 plus 7. So 80 times 20 is 1600. 80 times 7 is 560. 4 times 20 is 80. And 4 times 7, 28. Yeah, there's still not really the room to do the vertical addition. Plus 560 plus 80 plus 28. 8, 6, 14, 16. So almost 2,300, and we said 2,400. That's pretty close. This one was closer, but this one's not too bad. We're going to do another area model for our next one. First, we'll round it. So 93 rounds to what? Good. And then 57 rounds to what nearest 10? 60. So 90 times 60 is 5,400. And now let's see how close we are. All right, so 90 plus 3 and 50 plus 7. I'm just going to write them vertical form here to save myself some time. I think that's one of the methods we practiced. All right, so 9 times 5 is 45, so 4,500 for that one. 50 times 3 is 150, or 15 tens. Boop. 7 times 90, 7 times 9 is 63, so 63 tens, 630. And 7 times 3 is 21. Goes up. 1, 10, that's 11, plus 2 more, so 13. So it was supposed to be pretty close to 500, or 5,400, and it's 5,301. Okay. Let's do our estimation for this next one. If you're feeling good about this, you're welcome to go ahead and try it with me and then correct it with me. Try it ahead of me and then correct it with me. So 87 goes to, what's the nearest 10 for that? 90. And then 54, the nearest 10 for that would be 50. So then that should go to about 4,500. And then we'll go ahead and do the real deal over here. We got our 87 and our 50. Okay, 80 times 50 is going to be 4,000. 50 times 7 is going to be, well, 5 times 7 is 35, so 35 tens, so 350. 4 times 80 is going to be 4 times 8, 32, so 32 tens, 320. And then 4 times 7 is just 28. So 8, 9, 6, and 4. So we're a little bit over, but we're still pretty close. So 4,698. Our actual answer. All right. Next one, let's see. So 38 rounds to what as the nearest 10? 40. And then 62 is what nearest 10? 60. So those multiplied together should be 2,400, right? Let's do that method that your parents are probably. 38 times 62. 2 times 18. Actually, before we do this method, let's do just show all total. So 2 times 8 is 16. 2 times 30 is 60. 60 times 8. 6 times 8 is 48. So times that by 10, 480. And then 60 times 30. 6 times 3 is 18. So it's 1,800. Then add those up. This method's pretty nice too. It's easy to see where you made a mistake if you did make one. 15 4 plus 8 is 12, so 13. So we're at 2,356. That's pretty close to our 2,400 estimation. So 2,350. I like these two blues together. It's pretty, like the ocean. All right, 65 is what as the nearest 10? 70. And then 39 is what is the nearest 10? 40. And let's do this version again. I think that's nice. Because it sets up the vertical form addition right away, which just like one quicker step. Oh wait, forgot to do that multiplication. So that should be about 2,800-ish, right? Okay. 65 plus 30 times 39. All right, 9 times 5 is 45, and 9 times 60 is 540. 30 times 5 is 150, right? Yeah. And then 30 times 60 is 1,800. Add those up. 5. 8 plus 5 is 13. 5 plus... Actually, this 8 with those two ones makes a 10, so 15. 25, 35. Pretty close. I think it's kind of farther off because 70, this 65 is the lowest thing that could have rounded us up to 70. So that's kind of explaining that larger difference there. All right. 26 times 43. What's that 26 round to? 30. And what's that 43 round to? 40. That should be 1,200, right? Now let's go ahead and multiply the real deal. 26 times 43. If you want a little bit of 26, 30 plus. Right, so we'll do our 3 times our 6, 18. Our 3 times our 20, 60. Our 40 times our 6, 240. And our 40 times our 20, 800, right? Right. 8, 11, and 11. So 1,118. That's our real answer. Okay. Here we go. 59 and 96. So 59 is about 60, and 96, what's the nearest 10 for that? 10 tens, also known as 100, right? So that should be about 6,000, 6,000, 6,000. Okay. 9 times 96. 6 times 9, 54. 6 times 50, 300. 9 times, or 90 times 9, 810. And 90 times 50, 4,500. 4, 6. 8 plus 8 is 16. So 5,664. Pretty close. Okie dokie, last one of these. 53. What's the nearest 10 for that one? And if you haven't done one of these on your own, I'd recommend you try it before we go any further. But try this one on your own if you can. All right, now let's go ahead and do it together. 53 goes to 50. 74 goes to 70. So that will be 3,500-ish, right, for our real answer. Let's see what it is. 4 times 3, 12. 4 times 50, 200. 70 times 3, 2,100, or 21 tens, so 210. And 70 times 50, 3,500. 3,500. 2, 2, 9. So both of these numbers are a bit higher than what we estimated, so it makes sense that our estimation number is a little bit lower than the real number. 39. All right. Write a multiplication word problem, estimate the product, and then solve. So, let's see. I have 28 buckets. Each bucket, B-U-C-K-E-T. Each bucket has 45 beans. How many beans? Okay, so the estimation for that, we got 28, which goes to 30, and then 45, which goes to 50. So we should get something pretty close to 1,500. Probably a little bit lower though, right? Because these both got rounded up. So let's see what we get. 28 times 45. 5 times 8 is 40. 5 times 20 is 100, or 10 tens. 40 times 8 is 320. And 40 times 20, let's see, 4 times 2 is 8, so 800. Okie dokie. 0. That one's not super nicely lined up. I'll scoot it over. 6. 4 plus 8 is 12. So 1,260. Okay. Would using an estimate be problematic in the situation you wrote for exercise 10? Why or why not? Well, it depends on what you're doing with all those beans. If I needed a certain number of beans to do some craft, right? And I have a bunch of kids and every kid needs to have, 57 beans. I need to know the exact number of beans, right? So they can glue it in their diagram and it's good to go. If on the other hand, I was just like cooking beans and everyone just needed a spoonful of beans to go with their rest of their meal, it wouldn't really matter. So that's something to keep in mind whenever you're using estimation. If it's something that matters to know the specific amount, then you got to do the full multiplication. If you're just like, do I have kind of sort of close to enough? Then you can estimate. But usually it doesn't take that long to find the actual number, so you might as well find it, unless you really, really, really don't need to. So only if people needed an exact amount of beans. Okay. There's a kitty outside my door. It's very cute. Okay. Puzzle Penguin. Here we go. Dear math students, my friends and I are helping build flower boxes for a community garden. We are going to build 42 flower boxes. The building plans say each box needs 13 nails. I rounded to estimate how many nails we'll need. Since 40 times 10 is 400, I bought a box of 400 nails. My friends say we won't have enough nails. Did I make a mistake? Can you help me estimate how many nails we need? Your friend, Puzzle Penguin. What do you think? He needs to build 42 boxes, and each box needs 13 nails. He bought exactly enough for 400 nails, right? He didn't buy any extra, and both of these numbers were rounded down. So he's probably going to need what? Probably going to need more. So I would recommend that he round those numbers up. Even though the rule is normally, 5 or more, let it soar, 4 or less, let it rest. In this case, you don't want to not have enough nails for your community garden. And if you have too many nails, that's not the same kind of problem. Like maybe you spent too much money, but you might be able to return one of the boxes at the store, or you could, maybe some nails are like a bent, or you could donate them to the community shed. So you can, do another project that you have in mind for your community garden. So it's better to overestimate what you need in a situation like this. So would be better to have extra nails than not enough nails. So let's say we round each of these numbers a little bit higher. Let's do 50 times 20. That's going to get us 1,000. Even if we just did the exact amount, 42 times 13, 620, 10 times 2, 20, 10 times 4, or 10 times 40 is 400. So at the very least, he's going to need 6 or 5. So at the very least, he's going to need 546. So I would buy maybe a box of 600, something like, or a box of 400 and a box of 200, and then you'll be good to go. Okay. Estimate and then solve. Explain whether the estimate is problematic in each situation. And we didn't really talk about it, but problematic means brings about a problem. So like we've talked about before, sometimes it's fine, but sometimes it'll be an issue. In this case, his estimation was an issue because he was going to have all these volunteers there and not enough nails to make the boxes. Sally's family is taking an 18-day vacation and needs to have someone take care of their cat. The veterinarian charges $14 per day to care for the cat. How much money do they need to care for the cat? Or need to save to care for the cat? Well, let's think about this. Do you want to not have enough money for your pet to be taken care of? What if they just kick out your cat? Maybe you'll have a bill at the end of the time, but maybe they might put your cat up for adoption or something. I don't know. I'm not a veterinarian, but I would say this is not the time to estimate because you want to make sure that your kitty is taken care of. And especially with this 14, if you're rounding, you'll round that down to 10, right? And then you're going to have a lower number than what you needed. And you want to have enough money to take care of your cat. So I would say don't estimate. And if you did, it would be 10 times 20, which is 200. and what they really need. Uh, 4 times 8 is 32. 4 times 10 is 40. 10 times 8 is 80. 10 times 10 is 100. Oops. So so they need that $52 more than what they would have estimated. So that would not be a good case to estimate. Save 252 or more. Also, sometimes veterinarians have fees, right? Like, what if your cat gets a tummy ache because it's nervous and they need to give it a little extra treatment or something? You want that to all be covered and good to go, and so you can enjoy your vacation. An artist uses 47 tiles to make a mosaic. The artist needs to make 21 mosaics for the fair. How many tiles does the artist need to buy? Well, if we round here, it'll go up to 50. And then if we go here, we could round that to 20. So that'll be 1,000. This got rounded up quite a bit, and this was rounded down just a little bit, so you might be okay, but really, I don't know. Let's see. Let's see what the real answer is. 1 times 7 is 7. 1 times 40 is 40. 20 times 7 is 140. 20 times 40 is 800. So with their estimation, they would end up having more tiles than what they needed. Now, would that be a problem? And it depends. How much do these tiles cost? If they're like a couple cents each, that's not a huge deal, probably. Have it a little extra, you know, you might want to change how they're broken in the mosaic. If they're like $10 each, then you probably don't want to overestimate, right? You probably want to only spend the right amount of money. So I would say, depends on the price. Of tiles. 1,000 is greater than 987, which is what they needed. So, I mean, this is how people really think about estimation in real life. You know, sometimes you don't know the exact number, but you make an educated guess, and sometimes you might want to change the way that you're estimating based on whether it's better to have too much or too little. Like if you're hosting a party and you want to have food at the party, many times people will overestimate or give a high estimate for the number of people who show up because they'd rather have leftover food than not enough food for everyone, all their guests at the party. So, you know, just keep that in mind. That's it for today. Go ahead and check in and see if you have an assignment, and I'll see you next time. All right, bye-bye, everybody.